Hello guys, Jerry speaking. Welcome to Bedtime Stories, episode number 363, and today we read you SpongeBob SquarePants, Atlantis SquarePantis. So let's read it now, shall we? So we got for us. I'm going to be tired by the time I finish this episode, okay? It's adapted by Erika Pass, based on a teleplay by Danny Malady and Stephen Banks, illustrated by the Artifact Group, published by Simon Spotlight Nickelodeon, New York, London, Toronto, and Sydney. Here we go. It's going to be a very short bedtime stories episode, unlike last several books I read on SpongeBob, but here we go on that. I'm not going to read some criticism, but that's just me. This is copyright 2007, all reserved. Here we go. It was a perfect day for blowing bubbles. SpongeBob blew a bubble large and flowy enough to carry him and Patrick, and huge enough around Bikini Bottom. This bubble will break all records, said SpongeBob, but he didn't realize how far they have gone until much later. The two began the pounding of the bubble. We're never going to get out of here, they cried. Wow. It makes more sense anyway, even though it makes more difference in the whole thing, so very good on that. Next page. Anyway, the bubble finally coasted down into the Great Cave. Coming to the rest of the, again, someone's sharp. It burst, and Patrick, SpongeBob flew in the ground. What happened? Asked Patrick. That's what happened, said SpongeBob, pointing the gag at a piece of metal. He got closer and saw it says Atlantis, okay? What do you mean by what that means, Pat? Said Patrick. Atlantis, SquarePantis. Okay? Okay? It probably belongs to your ancestors. You might wear the ancient crest of your ancestors for your birthright, okay? And Patrick stuck the opposite in SpongeBob's head. Wow. Okay. Excuse me. I misspoke anyway, but okay. It makes more sense anyway, even though it makes sense anyway, so there you go on that. I'm not going to do the whole book, so... Or it does make sense anyway, but anyway. Oh, it does make sense anyway. Anyway. SpongeBob and Patrick decided to take it to the Bikini Bottom Museum, okay? When they bump into Squidward. Wow. Would you two watch where Squidward started to yell? Then he saw what SpongeBob had in his head. Wow. What are you doing with the arm to Atlantis? Wow. He asked, he thought they were trying to steal it from the museum. Jeez. It's gonna be sad to me, I know. Then Squidward realized, excuse me, okay, anyway. And SpongeBob and Patrick have, in fact, found the missing half of the Atlantis envelope. What's the Atlantis omelet? Asked SpongeBob. Omelet. Yelled Squidward. Not omelet, and it's a key to untold riches. Okay? And the moment Mr. Krabs showed up, someone said untold riches. Sure you did. It had to make more sense anyway, even though it was a museum. So, very good on that. Next page. Square told them that about the lost city of Atlantis. From reasons unknown, the great city disappeared one day, for no ruins were ever found. All the adventures we were given to us by the Atlantis. Wow, okay. As Squidward spoke, SpongeBob found himself starring at the bubble show on the mall. He pointed out to Patrick that's the oldest living bubble. Wow, okay. Said Squidward. We have Atlantis. It's the most beautiful bubble I've ever seen, said Patrick. Wow, okay. Just then Sandy showed up. What's all the hubbub, boys? She asked. There's two cardboard brains found in the missing path of the omelet of the Atlantis, said Squidward. Let's head some two doggies up, said Sandy. The group watches as Squidward carefully placed the two pieces together and they glowed. Wow. It does make sense, so very good on that, even though it makes more difference in how things in any way. So, very good on that. Anyway, next page. Suddenly there was a bright beam of light and lots of rumbling and a huge van appeared, crashing through the ceiling in the museum. An omelet began to spin, it rose, and landed the spotlight in front of the van. The door opened up. Welcome aboard the sea ship Atlantis. Comment Atlantis, miles returns difference. Anyway, a computerized voice said, wow, this is a non-stop trip, so please take a seat, relax, and we'll be on our way. Getting close deep through the water until they finally could see Atlantis below. So they could hurl toward the sea, and they hit the ground, skinned to the stop. They argued, emerged through the van, something like that. Excuse me, okay, anyway. And emerged to approach the log staircase. And at the bottom was a bell. Go on, SpongeBob, said Mr. Krabs. Ring the bell. Coming up these Hell's Bells difference. So there you go. That makes more difference in all things. So there you go. Next page. Anyway, SpongeBob rang the bell, and everyone waited nervously in the red carpet rolled down the stairs. Welcome to Atlantis, a voice announced. I've been expecting you. With that, someone tumbled down the stairs, arriving at SpongeBob's feet. Allow me to introduce myself, he said. I'm a Lord with Royal Highness, but my friends call me LRH. Okay? My friends call me SpongeBob, and said SpongeBob. I'm here to see the oldest bubble. Wow. Meanwhile, Plankton had stuck aboard the bus and we overheard the group talking about the collection of weapons in Atlantis. Wow. RH happily shows SpongeBob and his friends around the sea. For centuries, we Atlanteans spent our talents, energy, billions, weapons to defend ourselves, he said. But we gave up the idea of warfare long ago. Wow. Now these weapons gather dust behind these locked doors to show what must be done, in which if one of those wishes is to live in harmony with one of those creatures in this a world. You know something? Plankton should be punished for all of this, so there you go and die. Might be something about this. Come on. Thanks, bitch. Sorry, I didn't mean to yawn, and hurt my tongue a little bit. But anyway. Next, they came upon the room full of treasure. Long ago, we decided to focus on gathering knowledge and instead wealth, said LRH. The group followed him away from the riches, except for Mr. Krabs. Wow. Say was looking forward to seeing some inventions. Of course, LH said, give you the land how science. Wow. Hopping out acorns, said Sandy she saw the room full of machines. One machine even took options and turned them into ice cream. Wow. Say decided to stay behind in this hall of science. Okay. So it makes sense now in any way, even though it's mind-blowing between now and the whole Mr. Krabs and Sandy thing. So there you go on that. Come on. Next page. Gotta do some of these next pages. Come on. Anyway, there we go. Next page. Anyway. And in Hall of Arts, Squidward couldn't believe his eyes. The creativity, the artistry, cried out. Looks like I'm here to expire these Atlantean art makers and my beauty. You guys go on ahead. Excuse me, sir. SpongeBob said to AR8, something like that. Can we see the bubble now? Of course you can, said ARH. But first, please remember the bubble is more than 1,000,000 years old. Wow. Wow. That was huge bedtime, okay? SpongeBob and Patrick ran toward the bubble, which was held before it in a large glass bowl. Wow, okay. So don't pop it, okay? So answering so slowly, since SpongeBob embarrassingly is the most beautiful wiggle up, dusty old bubble I ever see. Look at the entrance air rising, says Patrick. LRH ships give it away to Padera. I'm gonna have to leave you two friendly strangers alone from the most warm, beloved, ancient, and fragile Atlantean race. Something like that. He says he walk away. Now, is he gonna pop it or is he gonna do something with this? Feel it, but not feeling it, but seeing it, but not do some of the four scenes. Smell, taste, feel, touch, or yeah, warm scene. I forgot to say. Sorry, but that's what it's gonna say at least. Next page. What is this? In their excitement, SpongeBob and Patrick push against the glass ball and set it loose. They struggle under this weight. Finally sending it straight, the bubble does not burst. Thank you. That was a close one, buddy. Said SpongeBob. We should do something before something else happens. Okay. Let's take a picture for our scrapbooks before we leave, says Patrick. Great idea, Pat. SpongeBob agrees. No, you will not. Copyright law. But it turned out to be anything but a great idea when a flash from the camera emanated from bubble burst. See what you done, Bubble? Patrick and SpongeBob? You made it worse. I don't care what you done, but seriously, that 1,000,000-year-old Bubble is dead now, thanks to you guys. Seriously. Next page. Anyway. SpongeBob and Patrick were Peggy when they arrived for dinner. We have to go back to Bikini Bottom now, as they said. Why don't you go wait and live in paradise like this? SpongeBob asked. Because, said SpongeBob stolidly, Miss Gary and we would destroy your most prized possession, Patrick burst out. Wow. SpongeBob and Patrick was ready for LH to start yelling at them. Wow. But instead, LH simply admitted that's not the real bubble, it's just a prop from the tourist. Wow. He took a small jar with a regular bubble floating inside. This is a real deal, he said proudly. Yeah. Makes no sense to me. Ooh, SpongeBob, said SpongeBob and Patrick. We was thrilled at the same time. Then Patrick took another picture of the bubble burst. You know what? That didn't make any sense. Because I don't know what to deal with here. It's no flash photography. That's a no-no. Come on. I've done it sometimes museums, but no. Please. We're almost done. So, there you go. We're on 3 pages left. Anyway. This time, LH was furious. Summoned the real card. He roared. Seized the hostile bubble poppers. The hostile out there called Sandy With the guards chasing them, Bikini Bottom gang ran until they crashed in the barge tank. So the voice was heard inside the machine announced, "I'm the control and most powerful weapon in Atlantis. Now bow before the new king of Atlantis and prepare to taste my wrath." Wow. Different makes sense, but it was plain he hopped in the button and spurt. Ice cream colored coats onto everyone below. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Brian. Exactly, Patrick said between mouthful of ice cream. Okay. Plane jump out of the machine. Could get money to himself. Play evil, huh? RH was delighted. Look at a talking speck. He said it was made a fantastic replacement for a recently depleted national treasure. Plankton came out in Mr. Krabs' work with you guys in the chum bucket. But come on now, really? Really, can be not a replacement for you guys? Seriously? Come on. Last page of the book says this. As Plain rant and rave in the jar, RH said goodbye to the visitors for the Bikini Bottom. He seems very eager to see them leave. "And so nice to meet you all," said LRH. "I hope you have a safe journey to home. Do come back any time." All Plain will come back in the chum bucket pretty soon, but we'll just see what happens. So, I don't know what to say here, but, that's just me. So that was Atlantis SquarePantis. What I think about this book, it was just so much messy right now. Although 5 minutes of reading time was catchy, but was not, at the time was fast enough, but, that's just me. It's getting late for me to do bedtime stories episode at that time from when I was taping this, but you know what I'm at. That was bedtime stories episode number 363. Hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned. Next one's going to be bedtime stories episode number 364, which is going to be about Happy Birthday, Little Pokey by Sandra Bullion. Now, excuse me, I gotta get this thing ready to go. Put this back in the SpongeBob thing, and I'm hoping to read you this book next. This might be the next thing for celebrating my 28th birthday next 2 days since I'm taping this bedtime stories episode. Till next time, so Jones Bob, so baby, good episodes to pursue, out. See ya.